Okay. So, new timeout lengths. You can now put people in timeout for different lengths. Oh, wow. Got a freaking bug in here I got to get rid of. Oh, man. I don't think these are mosquitoes because it's like wintertime, but my foot is getting bit up and a couple bugs got in my house. Oh, boy. Okay. Let a couple people get in here before I start saying anything. What's going on? Why? Oh, got it. Here we go. Bradley, Selena, and Carl. What's going on? I think, is that how I, Carligo? Carligio? How's it going? Okay, real quick. Honestly, you like what my dog did to my hat? You like what Grogu has added to my, you guys recognize this hat? Yeah. That's what my dog has added. Little extra flair. He just thought, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna spruce up this hat for you. Give it a little bit more love." And because my hair is so short, I can't really wear it like this because then you can see it in videos where my hair will like stick out the top. So I don't really wear this hat backwards anymore. And then forward, it looks like this. Maybe I can start like wearing it like all sideways and look cool, but then it sticks out the side. So I got no real good options with this hat. I can't seem to find my Michael Myers hat, which, oh shit, my ring. I took it off to shower. Hold on. Kaylee will think that I'm like on Match.com or something. All right, here we go. Here's a stocking cap. Let's wear that instead. Now you might recognize this stocking cap from this short that we made. Oh, Kaylee and I made this Stranger Things short where she came in the kitchen and she lifted me up and broke my neck. I twisted my neck around and I fell to the ground because she was like 11 from Stranger Things. And we didn't have a mask. So I just took one of my stocking caps and I cut some holes in it. And that's this one. I don't wear it anymore because it has fucking holes in it. But as long as I wear it on the back side, I have hair that sticks through in the back, but here in the front, we're good. What's up, Brian? I sliced my damn tonsils with some nacho cheese Doritos last night, and my throat kills today. Are you sure it wasn't a penis? Let's be honest here. Doritos cut your tonsils? Damn, man. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Oh, man. Okay. So, honestly, guys, the reason that I got on is because I'm trying to stop myself from currently having a full on like nervous breakdown. So, as you guys know, I don't talk about it on the channel ever, and I'm not going to start right now. Don't worry. But I, when I'm not watching horror movies and I'm not playing video games and talking with you fine people, I follow the political landscape way too closely. And I was listening to tons of stuff today, and I literally like am in the midst of feeling like I'm having a fucking nervous breakdown from like how much I hate how everything is and how people are and how fucking stupid everyone actually is. So I decided to talk about horror movies because that calms me down and hang out with you guys. So let's do that instead because I seriously can't handle it anymore. And I think that everything is going to hell. So, first things first. Okay. My love. Speaking of Kaylee. Okay. Kaylee is in the comments. Everyone say hi to her if you feel so inclined. All right, first order of business to talk about with the horror world. So, one thing we all found out a couple days ago out of nowhere is that Saw 11 has officially not only been announced, but we've also gotten a release date and we have definitive proof that the who will not be writing this movie. We don't know who will be writing it, but we do know who will not be writing it. And that has me very, very excited. So, the writers of Jigsaw, Spiral, and Saw X, the last 3 Saw films, who I'm not a big fan of. I don't think they're very good writers, honestly. They have confirmed they will not be returning to write this movie. That has me so very excited. Twisted, $5. What's up? Keep up the horror. I will now that I have that money. I can't keep it up without it. So the $3 I'll get of that, I will rent a movie. I've been looking at this movie called Raging. What the hell is it called? A woman's name. It has like, I posted about it. Raging Grace. So on IMDb, this has 1,000 ratings. So it's pretty high. At a 6.8, it has a 70 Metascore with 100 from RogerEbert.com. And it is a psychological horror, psychological thriller, horror, mystery, thriller, drama. So a 2023 horror film with a 6.8 and a 70 Metascore, I have not heard one single person discuss. Not one person. I don't understand. And yes, it is available to rent. It's $7. But it's kind of insane to me that this has such an insanely high rating, but no one is discussing it. I don't know. I'm going to have to check it out for myself. I'll let you guys know for sure. But there you go. Anyway, speaking of, moving on. Yeah. So Saw 11, of course, I'm excited. Who would I want to write it? I mean, this is pretty easy for me. One of two things. So I highly, highly, highly doubt this will happen. In fact, I'm positive this will not happen, only because of the time window that they gave. So the Saw movie is coming out in September. Now that could be pushed, of course, but as of right now, they're saying September. That's in 10 months or less. They have to write this thing, hire people, shoot it, edit it, score it, get it out, promote it, all in 10 months. That's fast. Now they did it for like 6 straight years, right? With the sequels. From Saw 2 to Saw 7, they were able to get out one movie a year. Now, granted, when they hired Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan to write Saw 4, 5, 6, and 7, they definitely were writing like the outline for 4 through at least 6, because they put things in part 4 and 5 that ended up in 6 and 7 and weren't completed till they definitely had an idea, a vision. So they were writing 5, 6, and 7 all during the time. Plus, they actually wrote The Collector, which was supposed to be a Saw prequel. So they wrote that during that time as well. So they actually wrote 5 Saw movies during that time that they were writing. But people never credit that because, of course, it didn't end up becoming a Saw film. But the way they write things in the Saw franchise, they wrote Saw 6, they wrote Saw 4. They're my obvious go-to picks. Now, James Wan just finished doing Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. And he was in an interview where he said he wants to return to a smaller production because that's what he does. He does a big one, then he does a small one, big one, small one. And that, his obvious choice and go-to would be horror. And typically, he does that. He does like Conjuring, and then he does, like he does Insidious, and he does Malignant and all this stuff. And I mean, he wouldn't do it, but wouldn't it be wild if James Wan came back and did Saw 11? Like, that would be pretty crazy. It would never happen. I don't know who I would want. I guess Kevin from the last one is if he got Melton and Dunstan back as writers, I would be so on board with Kevin being the director again. That probably be my pick, would be for Kevin to stay on, the writers of the last one to leave, which they did, and for Dunstan and Melton to come back and write like a couple more films. That would be exciting for me. So anyway, this is my first live in here. Came straight over. Oh, what's up, Dave? Davey actually lives in town. He lives pretty close to me, and he's been kind of trying to hang out. And I haven't made as good of an effort as I should have. He could have came over today. Shit, I've been doing nothing today. You could have came over today, man. We could have hung out. Although he said weekends are better for him and weekends are terrible for me. I'm always busy on those days. So I'm at work shrinking my duties. Well, okay. I like the last one, but they seemed rushed. I thought Spiral was a bit shit. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Spiral, obviously. Bradley says The Collector was badass. I agree. But yeah, I mean, what would be your guys' like, if you could pick a writer and you could pick a director to do Saw 11, who would they be? And what would you want it to be about? So I'm totally fine with, maybe going and doing like a Saw 11 that follows the events of Saw 10 and going after, spoilers for Saw 10, but going after the survivor. But that's not what Jigsaw does. So I don't think that honestly would make all that much sense, because Jigsaw is very much of that mind of like, if you pass my test, then that's it. You're good. You get out. You're changed. We know that's not true with her. So now we could have it to where she didn't learn from her mistakes, which we know she definitely didn't, and went right back to what she was doing. And he's like, it's your test again. I would even like for it to be left off, to start where the last one ended, and where she thinks her game is over, her game has just begun. Right now, that would actually that's what I love about the other Saw movies that like Melton and Dunstan and even like Lee Winnell and James Wan had done, is that the sequels made the previous films better. Right? That's what I loved about them. They added elements that made me, take things that I didn't like about the other films and go, oh, now I like them. Now that with added context, now with these things. So if I was to find out, because that's like one of my big gripes with Saw 10 for sure, is that the worst person in the movie, the person who who you want it to get the worst, ends up living. And she has the easiest test of all. Literally, the test is like, betray someone and you can live. Okay, no problem. They like try to set it up like he's, like she's gonna have some kind of moral quandary or something. She's gonna be like, oh no, I don't know, can I kill the guy? She doesn't give two shits about this guy. Killing him was the easiest thing in the world to her. So for me, I'm just like, this is the dumbest test ever. Hey, shitty person, can you be shitty to survive? Yeah, no problem. Got it. Okay. I guess you learned your lesson. That is the dumbest. This is why I don't like these writers. There's so many other reasons, but that is just one of many reasons, and probably my biggest reason I don't like that film all that much. I didn't hate it. I liked things about it for sure. But this is where Dunstan and Melton or someone like that can come in and they can be like, oh, you thought that was the end of that game? Oh, no, 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 no. That was just the beginning. Her shit's about to get way worse. And we really are going to put her to the test, and it's going to make, because literally everything that happened in that movie, she had to watch a bunch of people she didn't care about die. And then she had to sacrifice some guy who she was kind of into, but she could give two shits. So she's like, oh yeah, kill that guy, no problem. I'll save myself. Like, there's just no test there. You know what I mean? She didn't learn anything. And there's no, you're not sitting there as the Saw fan at this late stage, right? Because what it became later on with this franchise, with how shitty the victims were, you just went in to watch them get their comeuppance, right? And with a person like this might be the worst person in the franchise, and like nothing happens to her. And you're like, what? What? There's people in the franchise who literally didn't do pretty much anything, right? And they had horrible deaths. Their deaths were so brutal and they barely did shit. This girl did horrible things and gets off so light. So anyway, if they can come in and alter that and add upon it and make her fate even worse, I would love to see a Saw 11 there. Then from there, if they do like a 12 or a 13, that's when I would like to see the events in between Saw 2 and 3, where we have that 6-month time gap before Lynn's games, Jeff and Lynn's games. That would be great, right? So cap off Saw 10 story and then move on to that 3-month time gap. Then you can go from there with like Saw 14, right? But I feel like that's too long from now. Tobin Bell's 80 something years old, so you kind of got to finish his stories up. I think he's 81, so you kind of got to finish his stuff up pretty quick, because he's getting really old, unfortunately. And Shawnee Smith is older than she was. I'm fine with it. I don't care. But we also have Hoffman's story, and a lot of us would love to see Hoffman locked in the bathroom at the end of Saw 7 and him get out of that and continue his game. So I guess you could have a movie that does both. It shows the future and the past. Does both. It shows the future and the past. That would be kind of cool, right? You could blend them together. I actually could see that happening. I actually could really see that happening. You could see him kind of stumbling upon what John Kramer had done in the past, and it will affect his future, which is kind of what they already did, but they could do it again. So I don't know. Anyways, I just think that that's where we could go with Saw, and I already said who I would like and whatnot. Alex Garland and Fede Alvarez directed. Come on. Yeah. What? Dude, I think they got a bigger fish to fry right now. Alex Garland's new Civil War trailer. Woo, man. That was haunting, chilling shit. That actually speaks to what I was talking about when I got on this stream, of like where we're heading as a country and why I'm feeling like I'm in the midst of a nervous breakdown, because his Civil War movie is definitely very prophetic at the moment, and I absolutely could see something like this happening in the very near future. That's that line that Jesse gives, like, well, what kind of American are you? That shit was just bone chilling. Like, I was just like, whoa, dude, we're really in that place right now. This is scary, scary stuff. So, and then Fede Alvarez obviously is currently working on his Alien movie, which, if he gets that out, in 2024 is going to be absolutely stacked with films. and video games and television series. Like there's so much shit coming out in 2024 and 2025 for that matter. I know a bunch of stuff that's coming out in 2025 that I'm over the moon for as well. So the future is bright when it comes to entertainment. The future is super grim and dark when it comes to like real world matters. But with film and entertainment, the thing that's meant to distract us away from how horrible things are, that looks really bright. So at least, as the bombs start dropping, we're gonna be having a good time as we're locked in our bunker basements. That's why we're in our basements, is because we're like, this fallout shelters. prepping we're prepping for that's what we're doing, man. When we sit down in our basements and watch these movies endlessly, we're just prepping ourselves for the inevitability of when we have to live in bunkers like in Fallout. And yes, I saw the trailer for Fallout. Let's get to some comments. Every time I see Night Swim trailer, all I can think of 100%, Zach, 100,000%. I was thinking this very same thing. This is straight up the tale of the dead man's float. That's funny that you brought that up. That 100,000%. I cannot believe that the writer, his concept did not come from inspiration of him growing up watching. I don't know if a man wrote it, but whoever wrote it or people wrote it, I'm pretty sure they got inspiration from that episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Good call. I actually was going to talk about that, but I completely forgot. So thank you for reminding me. You are 100% correct. We will find a weeknight. December has just been nuts, but we got to get together for Ricky O. That's not a sex thing. Just so you know, Ricky O is a very fun movie. Ricky Jones. What's up, Ricky? Speaking of Ricky, what's going on, buddy? Orphan 3 is in production. I do know that. William Brent Bell is working on it right now. I heard his most recent film he just made was not good. That's from Lee McCoy from Drum Dums. He wrote me personally because I'm so famous. He was like, no, I'm just kidding. Lee and I actually text each other quite often. And he just hit me up and he was like, have you seen the new William Brent Bell film? And I was like, I didn't even know he had one. And he was like, it was terrible. But that seems to be like what he does. Like William Brent Bell kind of like does good stuff and then bad and then good and then bad and then good and then bad. Like he just kind of juggles properties and he's just like, this time I'm going to suck. Like Brahms the Boy 2 is an abomination. Like it's horrendous. But Orphan First Kill I thought was great. So like it's weird because he's all over the map. He made like Devil's Due, which I haven't seen in so long. I honestly don't remember it. But he made all sorts of stuff. Pathfinder was my favorite Nispel film. That's the like not Viking. Is it Viking? I think Viking, right? I remember that movie having a really cool visual style. Right. I remember that kind of looking like not like God of War, but like a video game. Like some of the trailers I've seen for like an Assassin's Creed or like, when they did like Valhalla, stuff like that. It like had that kind of feel to it. And it looked really, really cool. I swear everything you say, Jason, is so spot on. LOL legend. I'm glad you think that. I doubt that everything I say is spot on, but I try. Thank you, Twisted. Did you see Soulmates or Malibu Horror Story from this year? I did not see Soulmates, and Malibu Horror Story. Did I? Wait, Malibu Horror Story. I remember the poster. I remember the skull and all that stuff. Why do I Horror Story? I swear. What was my? Did I watch some of this or no? I can't remember. I didn't review it for sure. It's found footage, right? Yeah, it is found footage. It has a 6.1. No, I didn't watch it. We were talking about watching it. I don't know why we didn't. Is it available to rent? I don't know why we didn't watch this. That's a good question. Thank you for bringing that back up because we definitely need to watch this at some point. Is it available? I'm looking it up right now to make sure. No. Oh, that's right. It was in theaters. That's what happened. Okay, now I remember. We were gonna go see it, and it was playing in like very limited theaters, and it wasn't here. It didn't come. I think it might have been in like it was far from us. If it was, I don't think it was anywhere near us. But yeah, that's what happened. Okay, I remember wanting to watch it, and then was like, did I watch some of it and hate it, or dude, we watched so many movies, so many movies. I've watched 150 horror thrillers in 2023. 2023 releases, and we still have more to go. So, oh, Drum Dums is here. See, I just told you. I just mentioned you, honey. Was this? Oh yeah, cello was playing here somewhere, but not super close. I thought about seeing it, but the trailer gave me horrendous vibes. The trailer gave away literally nothing. Literally nothing. Like where I was like, I'm not getting a good vibe from this trailer. So I would definitely. We have to live stream together for anticipated 2024. Didn't you just do isn't that like streaming right now? Your top films? Isn't that what's happening right now, Lee? Because I thought, yeah, right now. Oh, you just dropped it 27 minutes ago. Lee McCoy, Drum Dums, he just 27 minutes ago dropped his top 10 horror movies of 2023 plus 3 honorable mentions. I'm looking forward to watching that. I don't know what to expect from that list. Plus 3 honorable mentions. I'm looking forward to watching that. I don't know what to expect from that list. I'd be curious on what your number one is. I think you told me. I won't spoil it, but I think I remember. Help Wanted 2 released today. I know, babe. I know. Kaylee has the Oculus sitting here ready. She has to have it plugged into the PC in order to play on here, but she's going to be live streaming that tonight, right, babe? You're going to live stream for everybody? I'll be in the background right there playing Apex Legends and whatever with my brother. But yeah. Eric Z, loving the live streams. Holy shit, I jumped up to 51 people. The hell happened? I was at 17 literally like a second ago. Anyways, very impressive. 123 movies. That's damn close, man. Damn close. Saw 11 is my number one for 2023. You mean Saw 10? You meant Saw 10. That's fine. Saw 11 is coming out soon. Crossover live stream. Yeah, Lee and I have been talking about doing another one. We haven't done one in over 2 years. That's crazy to me. Actually, if I remember correctly, I do remember correctly, it has to be actually about 3 years, almost 3 years, because I met Kaylee, my wife, after the last live stream Lee and I did together. Can you believe that? That's how long it's been since Lee and I have done a live stream together. I actually have met a woman and married her and have now been married to her for over a year since we last did a live stream together. That's absolutely insane. Will I watch Lucifer Valentine movies? No, I don't have any interest in that kind of shit. I used to, when I was younger, I had the fascination with the shock movies, but I'm not there for the shock anymore. Like, as much as I like gore, like, I want to watch a movie that has something going on, and those movies just don't have anything going on in them. Or like, I want to watch a movie that has something going on, and those movies just don't have anything going on in them. Oh, my queef question. I forgot to say this. Do you think a man can queef? Is that possible? Seeing as how we don't have a vagina, although, I mean, now that there's such a focus on like trans people, and people are like, no, they are a man. Yes, a trans man can absolutely queef. So yes, yes. To be, look at me. I'm as woke as they come now. See? Sinister Cinema has went woke because I now acknowledge that trans men can queef. All right. I did used to make this joke years ago. It's not even a joke, really. It was more of just this like stupid ass analogy of like, wouldn't it be awful and so weird if when a guy came, he made a sound while he came, like it made like a farting sound. Could you imagine that? Like you were to go to come, and I'm gonna come, and then you there's just, it would make everything so much less hot, right? You would definitely be much more inclined to want to keep it in just so that you didn't have to hear that sound. Actually, the population would probably increase just for that fact alone, because it would just take the whole hotness and the excitement. Although I guess we'd get used to it, right? You'd just be like, no, that's how it goes. That's the function of it. But yeah. Imagine that. Imagine how fucking disgusting and hilarious that would be. The shit we talk about on this channel. Okay. So Saw 11 confirmed for September of next year. That's really soon. That's shocking to me that they have a confirmed release date of that soon, but there you go. That's really wild soon. Anyway, why did I also have the thought? It's I don't, you also had that like you've had that thought before I said it. Why did I also have that thought? You've actually thought about this? I thought I was the only person. That's funny. You're never the only person. Let's say that. That's crazy. That's always something to remember. Whenever you think you're being unique or original, or I'm the only one, trust me, you're not. You're not even close to the only one. No matter what you think or what you say or what you do, trust me, you are one of probably a million or more. We're much more alike than you can think. So weirdly, yesterday I was actually looking into the Wolfman movie because I saw something about the production, and I was like, okay, who's directing it now? And I saw who was directing it, and I was kind of like, I don't know. So weirdly, today, just 24 hours later, the news drops that Lee Winnell is back to direct The Wolfman. Now, unfortunately, Ryan Gosling has dropped from the project. He's going to remain on as a executive producer, which essentially means like I was part of the production long enough that I kind of want some money. I want some, credit for the input that I put towards this project. I don't know how much work he did on it. I don't know how much input he had on it. But as of right now, he is no longer the star of the movie. And instead, we have Christopher Abbott has taken his place. Now, Christopher Abbott is someone who he obviously was in Possessor, and most recently I watched a movie with him and Margaret Qualley called Sanctuary, which Kaylee and I watched last week, 2 weeks ago, and I do really like him. I don't like him anywhere as near as much as Ryan Gosling, but I don't like anyone as much as Ryan Gosling. But yeah, so it's a downgrade for me, but not like a massive downgrade. I do like Christopher Abbott quite a bit. So I'm excited for that. I think that he would be a good Wolfman. And Lee Winnell coming back is the best thing though. That's what has me excited, right? Because Lee Winnell, I think, is a phenomenal director. I really like what he brings to the table as a writer director. I think he has a very clear vision. I think that he is very inventive. I think he's very creative. I think he's very intelligent. I think that he has a lot to say. And the dude has been responsible for creating some of the biggest horror franchise IPs of the last decade, in addition to what he's done with his, directing, which, he was attached to an Escape from New York reboot at one point, or I'm sorry, remake. I don't know if it would be a reboot or a remake. I personally would want it to be a reboot. I would want to see it set in the world of, with a new character, maybe have Snake Plissken make like a cameo or something. But yeah, having someone else like Wyatt Russell or something coming in and playing like a Snake Plissken redo, that I'm not really all that interested in. But with Lee Winella's behind it, I believe that he would do something cool and unique, because his Invisible Man was fantastic, in my opinion. And Upgrade is his best film. Upgrade is fucking phenomenal. Like, he is such a fucking good writer and such a good director. Upgrade is really wild. And I him doing the Wolfman now after having done the Invisible Man, this is like Lee Winnell's getting his own dark universe, except for it's going to be actually successful. So I don't know. I think that he's super talented, and I'm excited that he's back on board. I was super bummed when he dropped. I'm still bummed that I don't get the complete package here, right? I wanted Lee Winnell and Ryan Gosling. They're like two of my favorites. Ryan Gosling probably being my favorite actor, and then Lee Winnell being one of my favorite people in horror. So it just seemed like a perfect marriage for me. But yeah, I don't know. Bean, not right now. I love you. 1 second. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Let's see. As a non-binary person, I thought that thought made me so insecure. Okay. Are you actually a non-binary person? I really don't know a ton about that. I haven't studied up on a lot of this stuff. Like, I don't, and I think everyone's unique, right? Like, I don't think there is any specific general rule to anything, right? Like, Kaylee and I watched something last night where someone came out as asexual, and that's just not something you see represented much in film. Bisexual as well, I feel like is something that isn't represented in film much. It's always like you're straight or you're gay, right? That's like always how it is. It's like, oh, she's with a chick, she's gay, right? And it's like, she can like both. Like, tons of chicks like both, tons of dudes like both as well. But I remember we were watching this movie, we'll probably review it maybe later tonight, and someone came out as asexual, and she was like, well, they just, they don't want to have sex with people. And I was like, did they masturbate? And she's like, I don't think so. She's like, they don't have sexual desire. And I'm like, wow, like, you don't masturbate even? Like, I could understand, like, I don't feel like being with another person, but being with myself? I'm sure there's asexual people that masturbate, right? I don't know. Anyway, but I was thinking about it last night. I was like, I really don't know shit about any of these other um, you know, groups of sexual orientation and whatnot. Would you like to see Daniel Harris return to the Halloween movies down the road? As like Jamie Lloyd? No, I don't have any interest in that. That ship has sailed for me. Maybe once upon a time. I don't know. It is what it is. No. The answer is just no. I'm not going to talk more about it. Okay. Back to the year after year releases from Saw. Bring it on, man. As long as they got something to say. Supposedly Ryan Gosling was supposed to play an anchor man in The Wolfman. That would definitely seem very Howling-esque, right? Dee Wallace plays an anchor woman, and is a werewolf, so that seems very derivative of that, but that's fine. Everything under the sun has already been done. Okay, so make it somewhere where the sun don't shine, like up your ass. Christopher Abbott killed it in Sweet Virginia and Possessor. Sweet Virginia. I don't know that one. A solid replacement. Yeah. Have you watched On the Count of Three? No, I have not. No, I have not. Wyatt, what's going on, buddy? There's a good friend of mine, Wyatt. One of the only people in this comment thread that I actually have met in person. The Invisible Man made 140 million on a $7 million budget. Hell yeah. That's fantastic. It should have made more. It's a great film. Now the story is about a man protecting his family from the Wolfman, which sounds less interesting. All I'll say is if Lee Winnell's doing it, I have faith. That's it. You know, I don't feel like he's gonna make it lame. I just don't. A modern 80s style cycling film with a horror crossover with a werewolf in it would just be cool as fuck to see, just saying. A modern style cycling film. Like not are we talking about bicycling or just cycling of the werewolf? The bicycle of the werewolf, cycle of the werewolf, bicycle of the werewolf, that'd be pretty funny. Just for the pun alone, I would watch that. I don't think I'm a man or a woman. Yeah, I know that. I know what non-binary means. Well, it's not the time or the place. So maybe we can talk about that later. I am curious on that. Like, you know, do you like men? Do you like women? Do you like non-binary people as well? Like, you know, I don't know. I'm super curious on that kind of stuff. I don't understand it. A modern sequel to the 78 film The Sentinel would be sick. It's been so long since I've seen The Sentinel. It's a cool movie though. I think asexual people do masturbate. Yeah, I would hope so. I like women and my fellow non-binary people. Okay. Jason, you can be the Wolfman. Yeah, man. Sign me up. I'm ready. What's your favorite Godzilla movie? The new one. The new one, for sure. Sup, Wyatt? Sup, dude. And by the new one, of course, I mean -1. We got Monarch going on right now. I watched a little bit of it. I intend to finish that, and the new Kong Godzilla New Empire movie's coming out soon. Hell yeah, Danny needed more Hoffman. I just watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter on Plex. It was all right. Yeah, I agree. Just very, very blah to me. Very repetitive. That's the biggest issue with it. Just super repetitive. It's like the same thing night after night, and it's like, okay, I'm done with this. Okay, more news. Saw X through Saw 12 should lead up to a much better attempt at a final chapter. Yeah, I'm down with that. Okay, let's see. Also, here's another big one that's exciting. We all knew this was coming, but it's always good to see, just to make sure, to have it be official. But just announced as well yesterday, Lauren Lavera signs on to reprise her role as Sienna in Terrifier 3. So this is a no-brainer. This is an obvious thing. She's become a total, she's become a sweetheart doll of the horror fandom, right? There's certain people who have just been completely embraced by the horror community, and she's just become one of those people. When you go to these festivals, there's certain people who are absolutely beloved by the horror community. Like Felissa Rose would probably be like the absolute darling of the horror community. Like, I don't know who would disagree with that, or who would try to argue with me on that. I would say, if anyone is like the absolute most beloved woman at horror cons, it's Felissa Rose. There's some other people that are like, close-ish, but Felissa is the absolute queen. She is the sweetest human being. She is, everybody loves her. And I think that Lauren Lavera is definitely uber beloved currently. She's super attractive, obviously, but she's just such a sweet girl, woman, and she definitely needs to take advantage of this. If she doesn't want to get typecast as like a horror scream queen, Um, I don't know. I don't know. I I don't think that's a thing anymore, though. I don't think you have to worry about that as much anymore. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy is able to go in and out of horror as much as she pleases, right? She goes off and she does some like high profile thing, like she's doing Furiosa right now, and she did the Queen's Gambit, and she's, done Emma, and she goes and she did she was in Amsterdam, and she was in like she's in all these other like projects outside of horror, and she has like big roles, and she's able to go, and then she comes back and she does like Glass, after having done Split. She was like, oh, I'm going to come back, and she works with Robert Eggers again, and she works, does The Menu, and she does, she can do whatever the fuck she wants. So I don't think that's as much of a thing anymore, where like you get stuck in horror and typecast in horror. I do think you can come in and out of it as much as you want these days. And I don't think you get stuck in horror unless you make super low budget trash, and then you can get stuck in that for sure. Godzilla, Kong, New Empire almost looks cartoonish in comparison to mine. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's obviously a much different thing, right? Like, as I had said during my review of -1 is more of an intimate, more like that movie has something to say, right? As to where the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie on that Monarch franchise, the American Monarch franchise, I guess is what we would call it, is much more of like popcorn entertainment. There's no heart. There's not like a focus on characters or story. They just are there to showcase badass monsters fighting each other. Like the story is secondary. And with minus one, it's completely the opposite. It's completely the opposite. It's like story is first, characters are first. They are fantastic. Fantastic. Um they them dealt with the topic of non-binary. Oh yeah, I watched that. I didn't like that movie much, unfortunately, the Kevin Bacon movie. That just ended up being a really stupid fucking movie for me, unfortunately. But I liked the topic. I thought it was a good idea, but man, I really didn't like it. Let's see. It's all about nothing mind blowing. Great cinematography. Can't wait to see where they take the character in part 3. Yeah, she's great. Last episode of Monarch only showed one glance at a monster in the entire episode. It was flashback. I mean, so you're saying that you want the monster show to show more monsters. I mean, I don't need a monster in every episode if the story is good, right? Like if you're building up to something, I'm fine with not having a monster in every episode, right? Um, so that's me personally. I'll see. But if if the story is lame and you're just there to see the monsters, then fucking yeah, it's like, well, what am I watching this for, right? This is just boring. So let's see. Sienna is my favorite final girl in horror besides Sydney Prescott and Nancy Thompson. Hopefully her character gets picked off in the first. Yeah, I would be good with that. I don't think they will do that because she's as central to Terrifier right now as Damian Leon. So, or I'm sorry, as David, as Art the Clown. So I don't see that happening, but I would respect it. I don't see them doing it. Can't wait for Furiosa. You and me both. What's your worst horror movie of the year, or worst movie of either one? It's the same. It's Skinamarink. That just does not do anything for me. It does nothing for me. Beverly Hills Cop. I don't have any attachment to Beverly Hills Cop. I did not grow up with them. I watched them like once as a kid. I remember very, very little. I remember like a Ferris wheel in part 3. I remember in part 1 with like a banana in the tailpipe and like waiting at the light till it turns red and driving away. Like I remember very vague things. I do not know anything about Beverly Hills Cop, but I would be down to watch the original 3 before the 4th one. I'm into that. It would be awesome if Art the Clown turns one of his victims into a legit snowman. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. That's actually a great idea. like rip their limbs off and stick them into the snowman, right? Like cut their face off, put it on the front of the snowman, cut different body parts off of it and like make a snowman, but then like instead of using twigs for arms, you use actual arms for arms. That'd be a great idea. Jason, are you looking forward to Return to Silent? Oh yeah, sure. I like the Silent Hill movies. I don't love them, but they have potential. They have big potential. Felissa is a sweetheart. My PFP is actually the day I had the honor of meeting her. And my best overall convention guest experience. Oh, wonderful. See, yeah, she's fantastic. Which character are you like in the show? Which character am I like in what show? Godzilla teaming up with yeah. I don't know enough about Godzilla to speak on like Ghidorah and Mecha Godzilla and everything. Like I watched it a little bit, but very little, so I don't know. A Quiet Place Day 1 is releasing in June 2024. Yeah, that's crazy. There's that actually has Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things in it, so that one's gonna get a lot of the ladies to come out to it because they love Eddie. Are you ready for the Dead by Daylight story game mode? Story game made by the same developers as Until Dawn. Sure, absolutely. I haven't played the new DLC with Chucky. I'm super curious on how Chucky like throws you over his shoulder and puts you up on the hooks, but um and let's see, didn't It Lives Inside seem similar to Talk to Me? Um It Lives Inside and Talk to Me. Hmm, I guess kind of ish. Not really. No. I get what you're saying though. Hey man, I ain't falling for a no banana in my tailpipe. You sure about that? I heard you've gotten a few bananas up your tailpipe. My worst was Exorcist Believer. Not the worst I've seen or ever seen, but the biggest letdown of the year. Well, that's a shame. Definitely nowhere near the bottom of my list. I watched much worse movies than Exorcist Believer. I probably watched 70 or 80 films worse than Exorcist Believer this year. No doubt. There's a lot of there's a lot of great movies this year though. I'm very happy with 2023 and it isn't even over yet. So I am not revealing my best horror movie of 2023 right now. Jean-Philippe, you know better. Jean-Philippe is my Star Wars buddy. He's the guy that I talk Star Wars with. I have like a friend because I'm into so many different things. You know, I can never find someone who's into like everything I'm into. So I kind of have to have a friend, like a specific friend for all these different fandoms. So I have like, you know, a Star Wars friend and I have like, you know, all these different fandoms. I always have to have like a different friend for all these different things. It's kind of funny. I'm way too into too many things. Having so much fun playing Chucky in Dead by Daylight. He has a ghost of his human self pick up. Oh, so like, okay. That's interesting. Charles Lee Ray's ghost like comes out like it does it look like Brad Dourif? That's interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, now that I would have rather have seen that, but it's fine. I should have played it long ago, so it's my own fault. I do like Star Trek. I do like Star Trek. Jordan Peele remaking People Under the Stairs. I almost guarantee you he won't direct that. That's going to be something he produces, right? Or has a hand in writing, like Candyman or something. Like I doubt that that's going to happen. Exorcist Believer was the worst movie of the year as far as theatrical horror. Definitely not for me, not even close. Skin and Marink actually got a theater release, and that's my least favorite film of the year, so it's not even close. Skin and Marink, literally nothing happened. That is the definitive like epitome of nothing happened. But some people like it resonates with them in a way, in a weird way, where they're like, it reminded me of my childhood fears or something. I don't know what the fuck your childhood was like, but I guess if you just like were paralyzed and laying on the ground in a poorly lit room, then yeah, maybe that'll remind you. Like oh, when I was a kid, I came down with an illness where I couldn't get out of bed and we couldn't pay for the electricity and we just had to sit there. And I was tripping out and thinking I saw the doors disappear. That's the only reason that would remind me of my childhood. I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. That's it. You know, it works for you. That's fantastic. It beyond didn't work for me. It was the biggest chore of the year to sit through easily. Um, what did Lee say earlier? I missed it. He said something about, yeah, talk about how frustrating it is to have to re-record a review. Did you say more about that? Did I miss it? Your 2023 list, is that what happened? You had to re-record it? Man, guys, I got bit on the foot a couple times by some kind of bug, and my foot itches so much this whole time. It is distracting my brain tremendously. I can't even think straight. My foot itches so bad. I want to scream. Oh my goodness. Fuck. All right. Evil Dead Rise. Oh yeah, I loved Evil Dead Rise. I don't know when we're going to be doing the 2023 list. We should probably do it soonish. Most underrated film of the year. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. Um the Okay, so like when it comes to underrated, it's like nobody's talking about this movie or this movie is everyone's hating on it and I think it's really good. Um so as far as like no one's talking about it movies, I would either say Where the Devil Roams. I don't hear anyone talking about that movie. That's from the Addams Family, not the da da na na, not that Addams Family, a different Addams Family. The ones behind Hellbender and The Deeper You Dig. I loved that movie, and no one is talking about it. So that's maybe the most overlooked. That and Moon Garden. Those are my two big overlooked horror movies of this year. Um, then as far as like people who are disliking it and it's getting like a 4 point something on IMDb or something where I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I think this movie's pretty rad. Mm, I really liked the movie. I really liked Deliver Us. I really enjoyed that movie a lot, and that had a really poor rating on IMDb. I was shocked when I watched it. I was like, "Whoa, what?" I loved this. So that's definitely one for me, just because of how low it is rated and how high I was on it. That would definitely be up there. Exorcist Believer for me actually is one of the more underrated films of the year because it has like a 4.9 on IMDb, and I don't think it's anywhere near a 4.5 or a 4.9, but that's my own personal opinion. I know a lot of people have like very like you know heavy opinions about that movie, and that's fine. But for me personally, it's nowhere near 4 something on IMDb. That's fucking absurd. Okay, sounds like Jason would not write a Skinnamarink part 2. No, I would not. 4 something on IMDb. That's fucking absurd. Okay, sounds like Jason would not write a Skinnamarink part 2. No, I would not. I have not seen the movie yet. What the fuck is the point of a disappearing toilet scene? Dude, I don't know. I don't get the movie. I genuinely don't understand. I don't know what's scary about it. No, luckily I didn't have to re-record it, but I remember how frustrated you. Oh fuck, dude, the Godzilla review. Don't even remind me, bro. Don't even remind me. Did you see the trailer for the? Oh yeah, the Jurassic Park survival game. That looks fantastic, dude. That looks super good. That's like the Jurassic Park game we've been wanting forever. That's like it. You think Dark Harvest is the most underrated film of the year? Do you mean most like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, and I would say most people are pretty high on it, but there's definitely a good amount of dislike towards it as well, or people find it like lackluster. They don't like the story. I definitely admit that there is some story elements that aren't fantastic. But probably my favorite monster of the year. I would say that the the monster in Dark Harvest is absolutely in my top 3 off the top of my head. My favorite creature design of the year. I'm trying to think of something I'm maybe missing that I'm like, oh wait, no, never mind. It's this. I liked Godzilla, of course, in minus or not minus. Yeah, -1, sorry. I yeah, but Godzilla is not anything new, right? Like he looks like most of the other Godzillas. He's just a little different. But Dark Harvest was cool. That was a really cool creature design. Yeah, a creature was stirring. I actually got access to that yesterday, so I was thinking about watching it soon. Not big on the Hellbender family. Their After Effects visuals feel. Oh well, man, I'll tell you what. Not in this movie. Not in this movie. If you feel like their effects are bad or something or are off, you will be shocked because some of the best special effects, the most realistic graphic gore of the year is in Where the Devil Roams. I will absolutely outright say that right now. Some of the gore in that blew my mind. I thought it was so good. It looked so realistic. It was way more graphic than I was expecting. So absolutely check that out. For that alone, I highly recommend that. Another movie. Actually, you know what? I take it all back. The most underrated film of the year or most overlooked or like the one no one's talking about that everyone should be talking about, because like when it comes to Where the Devil Roams or when it comes to like Moon Garden, those are like more niche audiences, I will admit. Like if I went out and I tried to recommend those movies to anybody, especially just horror fans, but anybody, I don't think it would get the reception I would hope it would get. I love them personally, and I think that there's people who would love them like I do, but I honestly do not think that as many people would love it as I would hope. But that being said, the most overlooked movie of the year that I could recommend to anybody, and I did. I recommended to clients, I recommended to whoever, because I think it's one of the greatest films of the year that no one is talking about, is the Netflix film Nowhere. That film is fantastic. If you have not watched Nowhere, I could not recommend a movie higher. So that definitely is a tops of the year for me, and you don't see anyone discussing it. I don't see anyone talking about it. I am not seeing it on any lists. I probably will see it on Lee's list. I will be shocked if it's not there. But Nowhere is fucking fantastic. That is a wonderfully constructed, no fat on the film. Everything is lean, mean, and you have the smartest, most badass character of the year. My absolute favorite heroine of 2023. So Nowhere definitely is the most underrated, overlooked, whatever fucking term you want, movie of 2023. So there you go. I'm glad I remembered that, because I wanted to make sure that that was addressed correctly. Let's see. As far as creature restoring, I might watch it tonight. I found the story of Dark Harvest was kind of bland. See, yeah, that's why make the monster so underpowered by the end. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have an answer. I don't have a great answer. I wouldn't mind doing a Monster Monday on that at some point, and I do want to get into the issues I do find with the film, but I still really enjoy it. Are you going to watch Rebel Moon? Absolutely. Absolutely. I always like Zack Snyder movies for the most part. I didn't like Army of Dead all that much, and I'd never even watched the other one. Shit. What was the other one called? Why am I blanking on that? What? Thieves? What the fuck is that movie called? I want to say like. Why can't I think of what the prequel is called? With the thieves, like they're gonna go. I don't even fucking know. I never even watched it. I didn't watch it, so I completely forgot the title of it. I want to say Den of Thieves, but that's the Gerard Butler movie, which I think is actually getting a sequel soon. Anyways, let's see. Yes, Nowhere is the most underrated movie of the year. Would you consider it on a horror list? I would consider. Yeah, Army of Thieves. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Okay. I thought I was crazy on that. It is Army of Thieves. Okay. I'm glad that you said that. Why do I sound like Leo Getz from fucking Lethal Weapon right now? Okay. Nowhere, yeah. Would I consider it on a horror list? I would. I think that because what I will do for my list and what I will continue to do is the 2023 top 10, top whatever the hell I end up doing, top 20 best horror / thriller films of 2023. Because that fucking, that arbitrary debate that becomes totally semantics, I can't stand it, dude. I can't stand. That's literally I don't know how you guys feel, but my literal least favorite thing to discuss in the fandom is whether something is horror or not. That is the absolute last thing I want to discuss with horror fans is it horror or is it not? Oh, I don't think it is. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care. If you think it is, say it is. I'm not going to fight you on it. Unless you're oh, I think fucking some Hallmark Christmas movie. You're like, I think that's horror. You've got to at least make it somewhat believable to me that it's a horror film, and I don't care. Right? To me, I just don't care enough. Right? So that is an absolute, I don't give a shit. What's your overall opinion of the Crow franchise? I know that Lee from Drum Dums, that's his, outside of Halloween, that's your favorite film, right? Halloween is number one, The Crow is number two. As far as the franchise goes, I have seen the first Crow a few times. A very, very good movie. Alex Proyas definitely directs the shit out of that film. That and Dark City. Those are two really, really cool films that he made. I saw City of Angels in theaters. I do not think I've seen it since. I think I did watch the Eric Mobius one, which is the third one. I did not watch the Edward Furlong, Wicked Prayer or something, movie. And then the television series, Stairway to Heaven. I never watched any of that. I've never seen a second of it. So, for some reason, I can't remember what the Eric Mobius one's called off the top of my head. The Crow. Salvation, is that it? Crow Salvation, I think that's it. Eric Mobius, the guy from Resident Evil, who was a stunt double for the Crow. But yeah, I've not seen enough of it to have an opinion on it. But Skarsgård, yeah, that'll be cool. And then Cody Falk is making a Crow fan film right now. Yeah, Salvation. I was right. Yay. Okay. I thought so. My 9 times out of 10, if I say something about movies, you can pretty much take it to the bank. I don't know why that retains in my brain, why film retains and nothing else will for the most part. That's not true at all. Tons of shit retains in my brain. I'm being too hard on myself. I can remember fucking all sorts of things. It's selective memory 100%. It's because I love film and I don't love the things I forget. Straight up. A horror movie is a horror movie. Thrillers still count. Yeah, as I said, it's just something not worth debating for me. If you say it's not horror, cool, don't put it on your list. I put it on my list, that kind of thing. You don't want it on there, oh well, too bad. Let's see. Is there anything else? We talked about so to recap, we talked that Saw 11 is in the works and that the writers of the last 3 are not involved. Thank God. Secondly, we talked about the what the fuck did we talk about? Wolfman, Lee Winnell is back, but Ryan Gosling is out, unfortunately. But fortunately that Lee is back, and that Terrifier 3, Lauren Lavera is confirmed and signed on. Orphan 3 is in development. We talked about that. John Waters is coming back to the Chucky franchise. He's going to be the Good Guys doll creator, which is kind of cool. I'm actually really excited about that. He's perfect for that. Very exciting. Stranger Things season 5 finally starts filming next month, so that's exciting. Let's finally get that thing out. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, it's not going to be out till 2025 at least. That's crazy. Oh, and another one. Smile 2 has found its lead in Naomi Scott. So that's exciting. When I took my kids to see Aladdin in theaters, and when Princess Jasmine came on the screen, I was actually taken aback by her beauty. I actually thought, like, I was blown away by how beautiful I actually thought she was when she walked onto screen. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was just kind of sitting back. I grew up on Aladdin. I loved it. And my kids were like, let's go see it. And I was like, yeah, sure, of course, let's go. I love Aladdin. Let's see it. And came on and we actually just watched The Sacrifice Game last week, and the main villain of that is the guy who plays Aladdin. So it's funny to see, like, within the last week or two, you get Aladdin is playing a villain in a horror movie, and Naomi Scott, who played Jasmine, she's playing the lead of Smile 2. So that's funny. But my God, I really just genuinely thought, and she has an amazing voice. That new song that they created for Aladdin, Speechless or whatever, Speechless, is that's what's called, right? Dude, amazing. She's got an incredible voice. It's a really good song, actually, and she's fucking phenomenal looking. And I don't know what her acting is like. In Aladdin, it's fine. I mean, obviously, in Aladdin, it's more like it's more like silly and playful. So, like, I don't know how she'll play in a horror movie. I don't know if I feel like I have seen. Oh wait, you know what? I have seen her in something else. Although this was also kind of silly. She was one of the main Power Rangers in that Power Ranger movie. Speaking of Stranger Things, the guy who played Billy was the main guy in Power Rangers. But yeah, that was another one where, I mean, she's probably got acting chops. She seemed fine in Aladdin. She seemed fine in Power Rangers. But fuck, she's good looking. Goddamn, she's a beautiful woman. And she can sing. I don't know why. They need to, like, figure out a way to have her, like, sing in Smile somehow, because what a voice. Um, what will Smile 2 be about? I guess we'll just follow a new victim. Will it connect to the original film? Like, will she be out in the woods? Like, will she, wouldn't that be wild? Like, or actually, no, I guess Kyle Gallner's character sees and witnesses her death. So he gets it passed on to him. So will he return? That's actually what should happen. I'm gonna guess that Kyle Gallner will return for as the opening kill of the movie. He'll be like the Alice from Friday the 13th, part 2. He'll come in and he'll pass it on. He'll try not to, but whatever. He'll end up. It'd be kind of cool is if, like, he tries his best to end this by, like, killing himself in a way where no one will see him. And right as he's about to, like, kill himself, she's out there, like, hiking or something, and she happens to come across it, like, right in that moment, and he's like, no, like, don't look, and then that's the opening Smile too. Like, she's like, oh my God, like, I saw this guy kill himself out in the middle of the woods while I was hiking. You know what I mean? um or to even, like, maybe have a couple people witness it at the same time, and both of them, you have, like, multiple people who are dealing with the demon at the same time. I don't know, but I'm just fucking throwing out random ideas off the top of my head. They're probably not very good. What's the news? Something new out? Did you see things? Oh, well, I just went through all of it again. But exciting stuff. I'm excited because you've got quite a bit. Like, 2024 has a pretty stacked like third, fourth quarter. And once again, we'll probably be you mark my words. We're going to be about 6 or 7 months into 2024 and we're going to say, well, this year's had a couple good movies, but overall, I feel like this year has been kind of lackluster. Shame. Every year has been so good, and we're finally hitting a low point or a lull in horror. And then August, September, October will roll around, and we'll just get fucking absolute bangers, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then all of a sudden, by October, November, we'll be singing 2024's praises. Mark my words. This happens every year now. We always get to like June and we're like, oh, this year sucks for horror. And then by by October, November, we're like, man, this has been a really great year for horror. It's really picked up in the last quarter. That's always what happens. So I have no doubt. I hope Night Swim is fun. I hope Imaginary is fun. Like those are the two off the top of my head that are coming out in January and March, respectively. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to Night Swim. It's coming out here in like 3 weeks. Imaginary comes out in March. Those are the two big high profile horror movies that are coming more on the first quarter of the year. So I'm hoping those will be fun and we'll start the year off right. Like I'm hoping that Night Swim will be the Megan of this year. Because I really enjoyed Megan. It was a really good way to start 2023. I thought it was a pretty big hit for. I was like, oh wow, because it was super early. It was like, I want to say it was like very similar, like it was January 5th, just like this one, but it can't be. It's got to be like January 4th or something. But yeah, I was really excited about that, and it was good. It was good. So we'll see. I can't wait for the Iron Claw. I'm going to see that as soon as I can. I'll be seeing that alone for sure. Kaylee will not give two shits. But there you go. I would never watch Christmas horror if it's not in December or January. Oh, really? I get that. I mean, I understand that, but it doesn't have to be, but I totally get that. So, Duritan's is up for my opening of Smile. Okay, well, have Parker Finn write me. We can work on the script together. Let's see. Could you ever imagine Sylvester Stallone in a horror movie? He did make one actually. It's called originally. So it had two titles. Its original title was the letter D Talks. So like D/Talks. And then it got like a new alternate title of like what's it? I something like an eyeball, like do I own that? What the fuck did the alternate title become? I just remember it being called Detox. I don't think I own it. Oh no, I do. It is ICU. Okay, I was right. Fuck, why do I question myself, guys? Anytime I question myself, I just need to slap myself. I knew it was ICU. Yeah. So that kind of was like Mind Hunters. If you ever saw the movie Mind Hunters, very similar to that movie. He goes to like detox from drugs, and there's like a slasher villain. And then Cobra. I mean, Cobra has got a slasher villain in it, dude. Brian Thompson in Cobra is one of the scariest villains in film history. And he is a straight up Night Stalker. That's his literal name. In the movie is the Night Stalker. He's fucking terrifying, dude. And if you've seen a scarier dude in a movie than Brian Thompson in Cobra, let me know. Because I don't know if he exists. I don't know if he exists. But yeah. Wait, how did I find this? So, oh shit, Kaylee's gonna be mad. So here you go. Sylvester Stallone did make a horror movie. check it out if you haven't seen it. So there you go. Jason, I discovered your channel way back when you and Drum Dumbly did Halloween 2. Oh man, yeah, that was a good video. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a good time making it. Brian Thompson was the bad guy and the pilot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yep, and he was also one of the main villains in the X-Files original season as well. They always love to bring him in. And he is the main villain in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So yeah, Brian Thompson had a fun career. He's oh, and he's also the bodyguard of the chick in Death Warrant with Van Damme. I love Van Damme movies. He doesn't really play like much of a tough guy in that movie though. He doesn't really do any fighting or anything. He just kind of stands by her. He's more of like a right hand man, fucking limo driver or something. But yeah, he was in the Terminator as one of the guys with the Yeah, he was absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Him and Bill Paxton. Few cans short of a 6-pack. Oh man, yeah, great stuff, man. Laundry Day, right? Nothing's clean. I fucking love that scene. I love that scene so much. It's so good. It was wild to see that scene pop up in Genesis, right? In Genesis, they recreated that scene where they were like watching. They were watching each other. The Terminator went back to that moment and actually was watching the other one from that distance, and they started fighting. That was weird because I grew up on that scene, so to see it again like that was wild. That's a franchise that I would love to see get another fantastic film. That's a franchise. Like if I could have any franchise have like another super killer movie in it, Terminator would definitely be top of the list for me. I've always liked everything Terminator, honestly. The Sarah Connor Chronicles television series and the 6 movies and all that. I've always enjoyed them to some degree. Obviously nowhere near like the first two. The first two are fucking iconic. It's always hard to pick between the two. I lean a little bit more towards the original because it's more horror-esque. It's like a slasher movie, but the second one of course has insane nostalgia. When it came out in 92, I was very impressionable. I loved it, of course. So it's hard, but man, I love them. I love them so much. And yeah, I dig the Terminator movies. I always have a good time with them. I think people take them maybe a little too seriously, but Salvation is definitely my least favorite. The Christian Bale one, I wasn't a big fan of that one, but I've liked everything else. I love Krampus, solid dark fantasy. I've never been a big Krampus fan, but I need to actually shit. Let's see. I left the spot open for you. Shit. I hope she got that. I was wondering why she was late. She's in traffic. Oh, Kaylee hates being in traffic. Everybody hates being in traffic, but her anxiety gets the best of her. We're like more RoboCop. Oh yeah, RoboCop. RoboCop would be another one. I'm super bummed that Neil Blomkamp's RoboCop Returns never happened because man, he was the perfect person to do a RoboCop movie. So I'm super bummed. I collected VHS back in the day. I don't collect it anymore. I haven't collected it since it was a thing. So this is all from the actual original VHS days. I don't think I've bought a single VHS since VHS like stopped being a thing. So this is all original VHS collecting from when VHS was being sold. And let's see. What do you think about Krampus? I want to watch the naughty cut. I know it's not all that much different. I'd like to see it, but I don't love it. I also don't love Trick or Treat as well. I know, blasphemous, but it's true. I just don't love it. I like them though. I like them. RoboCop game. Which one? There's a ton of them. Are you talking about the new one? I have not played the new one. I did play the RoboCop versus Terminator game on the Super Nintendo, which was badass back in the day. Um, I really enjoyed Dark Fate, especially the Terminator actually talked to each other before the fight. I like Dark Fate too. The only thing I did not like about Dark Fate was the lead girl. I found her to be very off-putting. I just didn't find her relatable. I didn't like her. But I actually liked everything else in the movie. No, Mackenzie Davis is a total babe. I definitely was bummed that her nude scenes weren't more visually uh, framed for me to see. But I liked it. Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension is an Xmas film. That's true, it is. Curious, Jason, you seem to be super down for Demon Slayer when you watched it. Have you considered checking out Berserk? I have not watched Berserk, but I'm definitely down to watch more. I will tell you this, though. I will tell you this. Um, the thing that I am going to focus on more in 2024 is video games. I have put them off for too long, and I am absolutely focusing my attention on video games. I played a Plague Tale Innocence the last couple days. I beat it. Now I am playing a Plague Tale Requiem currently. I played for a couple hours today. So that's what I'm venturing into at the moment. But video games are something that I have such a backlog at this point that it is time for me to start knocking them out. I was live streaming gaming for a while, but honestly, it was super distracting, and I didn't love some of the commentary that I was getting in my comments. Some I was fine with, but others I just felt like I was wasting my time. Duratin, who's actually in the comments, is like the person who made me want to live stream, continue to keep live streaming because he was so awesome during all of it. But other people were annoying the shit out of me. I'll probably go back to it at some point, but I just feel like I focus on the game and the story so much better when I don't have to interact and talk and read comments and all that stuff, because I tried to play like story driven games with you guys and I just can't focus on them. And I was like, I would get to the end of the story and I'd be like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. That's what was happening with Alan Wake 2. I was trying to like talk with everybody and interact, and then I would talk through dialogue, and then I would be like, wait, what's happening? And then I wouldn't know what to do because they would like say stuff in there of like what I was supposed to do, and then I would just get super frustrated, and then I didn't really know what was going on in the game, and I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing in the game. And so I was like, you know what, dude, live streaming story driven games, like live streaming like just mindless shooting games where I'm just going out and playing to a high degree and just, killing people, that I could do, right? Because that doesn't take any mind, like any of my mental capacity. It just takes like hand-eye coordination. Um, but when I watch video games, when I'm playing video games, I fucking love the stories and I get super invested and involved in them. And because I did play Plague Tale without anybody, I was able to completely hone in and I knew exactly what was going on the entire time. So anyway, um, let's see. I'm going to get off here in a minute, just so you guys know. As soon as Kaylee walks through the door, I'll be getting off. So whenever she walks through the door, you'll know that means I'll be wrapping things up. It should be any second now. So just so you know. Let's see. My favorite anime is Pokemon. Ooh, I'll tell you, man, I'm not a Pokemon fan personally. It's not because I don't like it or I do like it. I don't have any opinion on Pokemon. But I will say that this new Pokemon concierge show that's coming out to Netflix looks fucking amazing. Like I was like, whoa, this is a really visually striking show. It's like claymation animation style. I love what I saw of the animation style of Pokemon Concierge. I don't know if that's straight claymation or if it's like a mix of two or if it's like a CGI like animation style that makes it look like claymation. Like whatever it is looks really cool, like super cool. I don't know if I'll watch it for sure. I'd watch it with my kids 100%, but the style is super cool. Did I watch Always Shine? I can't remember if I watched that. I know that was a Shudder original. because I want to say there was that, and then there was the other one with the girls who were like out together. They were like a couple, and then one of them goes crazy. That's not that one, though. I think that's a different movie. I remember looking at it. Is that the movie or not? I can't remember. If it is, then yes, absolutely. Two women with differing degrees of success travel north of Big Sur, both see a trip. Yes. God. Yeah. I think this is honestly the movie where I noticed Mackenzie Davis, where I was like, damn, who is this girl? She's super attractive. She honestly, I hate to say this, don't tell my wife. She actually looks super similar to one of my ex-girlfriends. Yeah. She's a babe for sure. Yeah, this is the one because that's a Sophia Takal's movie, right? Who did the VHS segments? I remember that. Yeah, I did see it. I remember not liking the ending. I remember if that's the movie, right, where she like is driving away and then goes back, and you're like, why are you going back? And she like plays like the music on the speakers to like lure her back to the house. That's that movie, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Kaylee's home, by the way. She heard me. She heard me talking about my ex-girlfriend. Look at this. You guys hear that? Look at that. She's coming through the door right now. I said my ex-girlfriend, and then she's like, who? Thoughts on Creepshow Shutter series? It has some good episodes. Mostly it's bad or very blah episodes, in my opinion. Is Slasher Sunday still a thing? That's a good question, babe. Is Slasher Sunday still a thing? We just did Thanksgiving like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Lay up. Lay off. Lay off. We'll get back to it, okay? You try doing it. You try doing a found footage Friday, a Stephen King Saturday, a Slasher Sunday, a Monster Monday, going to work, raising kids, you know, doing all the shit we do, playing video games. Try to sneak in some other things as well. Some adult things, if you know what I mean. That only takes about 30 seconds, though. Right, babe? Alan Wake 2 is definitely not an easy game to stream. No, it is not. In fact, I would honestly probably have to go back and start it again, but whatever. Have I ever played Alan Wake? Yes, I have. I've played it like 3 times. And American Nightmare. Yes, the stop motion looks great and super cute. I agree. Tim Burton fan, absolutely. My favorite Tim Burton film is Ed Wood. But I really like a lot of his films, and I'm definitely looking forward to Beetlejuice 2. Jason, have you ever watched Tenchi Muya from Bed? No, I don't even know what that is. Is that anime? I never watched anime growing up. To the random person who sees this in the chat, watch Tokyo Godfathers if you liked Perfect Blue. I did like Perfect Blue. That's one of the only anime films that I've seen. We're going to tell on you, Jason. Go for it. Yeah, a little pup. We actually need to go take him on a walk. Thank you for the Friday the 13th reviews. Oh, yes, that's what we need to get back to. Friday the 13th, part 6, coming soon, I promise. Oh, that is what keeps you alive. Oh, okay. So then Always Shine is not that movie. I did watch it, though. I did watch it. I'm positive I did. I just can't remember what it is now. I'll look for my review on it to remember. I'll watch the trailer actually after this to remind myself, but I definitely watched it. Cool. Kaylee greeted by the family dog. Yep. That was what keeps me out. The second Plague Tale game is one of my favorite games of all time. Ooh, yeah. I played the first 3 chapters today, so looking forward to it. And that's it. All right, guys, caught up on all the comments, talked about all the horror news. It was fun hanging out. Thank you for distracting me from all the insanity that's going on in the world. Don't let it get you down. We might all be doomed, but we can at least enjoy the ride together before the end. So, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Kaylee, you want to say bye? Hi? Anything? Bye. Oh, she's not going to make an appearance. Okay. All right, guys. Bye.